Let us now talk about the User Printers feature. It allows us to define the combinations of printers and users. Based on the option selected here under the User Printers mode, the printer versus user relation can provide just an optional help for users, if this user favorite printers mode is selected, or it can be mandatory and restrictive if the user allowed printers mode is selected. Before I continue, I will first deactivate the restricted printers feature so that it doesn't interfere with the user printer setup. Of course, they can be mixed, but it will be simpler to explain the setup if we focus on only one feature at a time. Now, regarding the user printers, I will select the restrictive user allowed printers mode. It is for the scenarios where it is important to control which users may print to which printers. For example, you may have some expensive printer in the marketing department and only the users in this department are granted the right to use it. This mode allows an administrator to go into the user printers form and to set up the allowed combinations of printers and users. If we go into the setup by printer form, we get a list of the registered network printers, and in this grid view we see some statistics about the number of users assigned to the selected printer. Let's go into the detailed view for one of the printers. On the left side are the printers, and on the right side we can maintain the list of users who are allowed to print to this printer. Right now it is only admin, so I can add the selected users. Of course, I can also delete them. I can add all users and also add or remove the users that have certain user role. From this form, especially from its grid view, an administrator can maintain the configuration about the printers allowed for users. For example, if printers 03, 04 and 05 are new and should be used by the department responsible for purchasing, we can assign the users from the account payable clerk role to these printers. Administrator can also look at the user versus printer relation from the other view by user, so he will click the Setup by User menu item. In this list view, administrator can get some statistics about the number of printers assigned to users, and some bulk operations are available here too. For example, there is a new printer, printer 10, that should be available to all users. Then just select all users, click Add Printers, and select this new printer. This form is also convenient for checking the printers assigned to a selected user, so I can select Admin and maintain the admin's printers here. I am admin, so based on this setup, when I print any report, only these printers should be offered to me in the printers lookup. Let's verify this by going again into the number of workers report and the printer print destination. We see that the same set of printers is offered to me, and they appear exactly in the same order as in the user printers form. I can go back there and reorder the printers by using the up and down buttons. Now back to the print destination form, and we see that the lookup is now based on the new printer's order. Important things to notice on this form are the isDefault flag and the effective default printer field. We see that the user default printer for this user is printer 07. If this user prints a report to the default printer, it is necessary that the resolved default printer exists among the user's allowed printers. This form tells us that everything is fine considering this user's default printer. But if I delete the printer 07 from this list, notice how the default printer field is colored in red, warning me that there will be a problem when this user prints to the default printer. I can fix the situation by bringing back the printer 07 or setting some other printer to be default. So far, we have demonstrated the user allowed printers feature. What about the user favorite printers? The purpose of that feature is to help users to maintain the list of their favorite printers which they will be able to freely, without any restriction, select from the printer's lookup. This mode is mutually exclusive with the user allowed printers mode because they are using the same users versus printers relation form. The user printers mode selection switches between them and defines who can maintain the setting and how the setting is applied. When in the user favorite printers mode, administrator can still maintain the list for all users, just as in the user allowed printers mode. This might be convenient, but the users can override the administrator created setting by going to their user options, account, and clicking the My Favorite Printers menu item. You can see that this is the same form as the one used by admin, only filtered for the current user. Here I can perform the same actions as admin, only for myself. For example, add the selected printers, add all printers, reorder the printers, and change which of them is default. I will add few more printers as my favorite printers, and I will reorder them, for example, in the descending order. Now back to the user options. You see these lookup printers I want to see. I can select if I want to ignore the previously configured favorite printers by selecting the All Printers option. Or I want to see only my favorite printers, or my favorite printers first and then all the remaining printers. Let's see the result of this setup in the printer print destination. Here are only my favorite printers, ordered just as in the favorite printers setup. And let's now select another option to see my favorite printers first. Here is the result. These two options are useful if there are many printers in your company and your users are typically using just few of them. This was a long tutorial, but we covered all the Docentric improvements related to the printing to the printer. They were user default printer, report restricted printers, user allowed and user favorite printers.